Wednesday afternoon is also getaway day for the Rockies. They'll head to Seattle after the ball game and have a day off tomorrow. Get ready for the Mariners on Friday. But first things first, the Rockies look to take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals, one of the favorites in the National League Central. As Jose Urena gets ready for his third start, we'll take a look at the Southwest batting order for the Cardinals today. Brendan Donovan's going to lead it off. Alec Burleson is back in there. He's in left field batting second. Then it's Goldschmidt, Arenado, Contreras. Nolan Gorman hit a home run in the ninth yesterday. Tyler O'Neill will bat seventh. Jordan Walker's hitting all 11. Easy game for him. He keeps this up, he's going to get called up to the next league. Taylor Motter will play third base and bat ninth after being at second base yesterday. It's really simple for Jose, and he's had success in the past, especially in a Miami uniform. He's got to throw strikes.
He has to throw strikes in. You know, there's a lot of things for Urena that just have not been working. Primarily, it's the fastball. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. We'll take a look at his pitch arsenal. Only has a 6% whiff rate on the fastball. That's why it's being hit at a 500 clip. He needs to get that pitch down. We're out of that part of the strike zone, the slider and the changeup. Virtually, it's been 5 innings, but nothing has been effective for Urena yet.
You know, a lot of times the focus is on the walks, and we'll talk about Jack Flaherty's issues. Spilly mentioned those a few moments ago, but it's also getting in hitter counts. 2-0, 3-1. First pitch is at the bottom of the zone, stolen perhaps by Brian Serven, and it's 0-1 on Brendan Donovan. Couple home runs for Donovan. Last year in his rookie year, made a splash, especially with the glove, winning a Gold Glove as a utility player. I'm glad they added that, by the way.
It's important. I mean, when you have players that have a skill set that is different, they're moving all around the field, you have to highlight that. Those are huge for teams.
Here's the 0-2, and that's downstairs. 1-2.
A couple of years ago, when Chris Bryant won his MVP with the Chicago Cubs, it was noted about the different places he played on the field. And it led a lot of voters to believe because they optimized the lineup because of it.
And that's a great start. The back foot slider and a strikeout of Brendan Donovan. You want to see an out no matter what, who's ever on the hill, but I think this is of a particular importance early.
It is important for Urena to get a little confidence. He had a couple fastballs right on the edges. He got him called for strikes. Phil Cuzzy behind the plate, and then there's a cut fastball right there on the Supermo. I like how the bottom falls out of it.
So here's a good young hitter in Alec Burleson, and he lines out to C.J. Cron. 2 gone. So with 2 outs, we'll take a look at the defensive alignment. Charlie's back in there, and Charlie is in right field. Chris Bryant's getting the day off, so it'll be 48 hours off of his feet as he gets ready for the Mariners. Of course, available off the bench. Daz and Profar as well. Moustakas is at third. Thumb getting better for Montero. Talked to him in the clubhouse earlier, Elleris, and he showed me the thumb, and a lot less swelling than there was yesterday. So when you're young, Spilly, you heal fast.
So he gave you the big thumbs up?
He gave me the big thumbs up. You're right. 1-1 on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt drove in a couple yesterday. He walked with the bases loaded, and that, of course, preceded the bases clearing double by Nolan, in which the Rockies lost that 6-2 lead. You're going to have, I call them punch in the gut losses. Every team does. I mean, the Dodgers probably had a couple last year, and they won 111 regular season games. It's part of the 162 game journey. But when it happens, Billy, it take you back to when you were playing. It stinks.
Well, you start, especially when you get to the end of the year, you start counting up the gut punches. Man. That's why it's always important to stay in the moment.
And that's a base hit up the middle for Goldschmidt. Daza was in right center field. Goldie can run a little bit, and he's going to try to stretch it. And you know what? He took advantage. He read Daza getting to the baseball and how quickly he was coming up with it. And you can never relax with a guy like Goldschmidt.
Urena had Goldschmidt 0-2, and then Goldschmidt just doing what the former reigning MVP does. He puts the ball in play hard. And as soon as he sees this is a huge outfield. Goldschmidt has played enough games at Coors to recognize if a outfielder is having to run that far, you can take your chance. It's a heady baseball play. Nolan 7 for 14, 500 with runners in scoring position, takes inside. He thought Phil was calling that did he call it a strike?
He did call it a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So he didn't call it a strike. Did he call it a strike or did he not?
That's what Buddy thought and is asking, because did I just hear Cuzzy say it's 3-0?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought that one pitch inside was called a ball. Yeah, it's 3-0. That's why Nolan would say, my bad. I thought he thought he called it a strike. I thought he called it a strike. It was a ball.
You got. I was going to say you got to be careful because Nolan will be swinging, and he was. Unfortunately, he got jammed. That'll end the inning. Goldschmidt left at second. We'll see the Rockies on offense against Jack Flaherty when we come back. So here we go. Jurickson Profar for the Rockies will lead things off. Jurickson starting to get his timing down. He was on base a couple times yesterday, and he'll be atop that Southwest batting order. Then it's Chuck Nasty, Ryan McMahon. He had a 3-run homer yesterday. Crone hit one up on the concourse. Moustakas, Daza, Castro in as the DH, Ezekiel Tovar, and Brian Servant. So again, Chris Bryant getting the afternoon off. Chris has played every ball game so far. And this ball high and deep right field. And it is going to fly. What a start for Profar. He ambushes Jack Flaherty. 1-0 Colorado.
That's how you start it off. You want a leadoff hitter. You want somebody that has the ability to pop you. And for Jack Flaherty making his first start at Coors Field, welcome. We welcome you with open arms. Jurickson, he knows the scouting report with Jack right now. He's struggling to stay in the strike zone. So if you are looking, you might see somebody trying to roll one in there into the strike zone, and Jurickson jumped all over him.
400-foot home run from Profar. Good afternoon. Here's the 1-0 to Charlie. Outside. And that's not an aberration, folks, as you guys get to know Jurickson Profar. A year ago, he had 15 homers. A couple years ago, he hit 20. So it's part of his toolbox. Is he a 30-homer guy? No, probably not. But guess what? Coors Field, you're home. You know, 15 to 20 or so, not unreasonable to think of. 2-2 on Charlie. Some more numbers on Jack Flaherty.
It's been 2 starts. He has a low ERA, but it's hard to have it that low when you've walked 13 batters in 10 innings.
So Charlie, in his last at bat 2 days ago, struck out. And the reason I mention that is he had gotten 29 plate appearances between strikeouts. And he waits back, and he has a base hit to right center field. That ball was kind of funky off the bat and threw off the timing of the dive, I think, by Nolan Gorman. So the first 2 have reached. And if we take a look at the defense for the Cardinals, Brendan Donovan last year, told you won a Gold Glove as a super utility guy. He played 7 ball games in the month of May last year at shortstop. This is the first time he's been back there since. He plays everywhere, though. Mack takes a strike at 93. 2 strikes on McMahon.
You kind of feel for Jack Flaherty. He was right. He was one of the best pitchers in the National League. He suffers a shoulder injury, got a side injury, and he has not quite regained his form.
He's holding. That's a great job of concentration by McMahon. That's something different we've touched on this year, that the hitter gets 1 time out, and if the pitcher is way ahead, especially with 20 seconds with a runner on base, I mean, you can get a lot of tension there if you allow it. He's doing it again. 1-2. Contreras behind the plate, day game after a night game. He's caught all 3 in this series for St. Louis. Good take. 2-2.
Going back to Flaherty for a second, I mean, back-to-back starts with over 6 walks. And talking to people, Tommy John surgery is totally different than a shoulder surgery. And in the case of Jack, trying to find that 2019 release point has been a challenge.
This is smoked to second. It'll be a double play. So a 2 guy out and a run in. C.J. Cron will come up. Well, when C.J. hits him, they stay in the air, Spilly, a long time.
They go a long ways, too. It was a cement mixer slider for Miles Michaelis, who would probably never wants to pitch again at Coors Field. It's over a 14 ERA here. That ball was driven. I still wanted to go, just call it 500 feet when he clear the concourse, get it up into Heltenberger.
It's 500.
That ball's fried, yeah.
That's in there for a strike, so it's 0-2 on CJ. By the way, that ball came off of Mac's bat at 105.8 miles an hour, and he got 2 outs for it. We'll talk about this a little more later. Mac has struck out a few more times than he'd like, but when he makes contact, he has hit the ball as hard as anyone in baseball. This ball was hit hard, 400 feet by Jurickson Profar. 1-0 Colorado. On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Monarch Casino Resort Spa, Blackhawks' #1 location to cheer on your Rockies away from Coors Field. And by Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood, fast, fair, and friendly. From Coors Field, we go to the second. Rockies up 1-0, and Urania misses ball 1 on Wilson Contreras. With Ryan Spilborghs and Kelsey Wingert, I'm Drew Goodman. Contreras 0 for the series.
He has not come out the gates very well for the Cardinals, and here's somebody for years. I mean, you see him in Chicago. He's one of the better offensive catchers. Defensively, there's always been something to be desired. He was an all-star last year for Chicago. Cool moment for him and his brother. They were both in the starting lineup. William Contreras is now with the Milwaukee Brewers, was last year with the Atlanta Braves.
3-1. On the ground to short. Tovar. 1 gone. Nolan Gorman coming up. This SAP broadcast is brought to you by the Laborers Union and the hardworking men and women in the Rocky Mountain region.
Already a good sign for Urania getting some ground balls.
Gorman yesterday in the 9th inning against Pierce Johnson. Spilly hit a home run to lead off the inning, and That made it 7-6 St. Louis. They went on to have a couple of more runs and produce a 9-6 victory. It looked like he was sitting on that curveball.
You know,
you're not sure, huh?
I never think hitters are sitting on curveballs, especially if it's belt high.
But the scouting report suggests you're going to get a heavy dose of him. Pierce has been outstanding. Fly ball to left. Gorman retired, and that'll bring up Tyler O'Neill.
I would point out a curveball in the middle, you do not have to sit on it. You just have to fire your swing. So if you're looking fastball and the guy throws you, that hanging curveball, you just swing.
Were you good identifying out of the hand?
Depends if it had a little hop.
Little pop.
Little pop, you could see it.
Outside 2-0 on O'Neill.
I would tell you, for me, my biggest growth in hitting off-speed pitches happened because I played winter ball in Mexico for a bunch of years. Saw a lot of off-speed pitches.
This ball's hit a long way to center field, and we've got a tie game. Tyler O'Neill can do that. That's his second of the year. And it's the fourth home run Ureña's given up. But think of the count, Spilly. It was a 2-0 count.
Yeah, for Ureña, he can't afford falling behind hitters. The stuff, he's just not going to get a lot of swing and miss. Less than a 5% whiff rate on his fastball. And Tyler O'Neill does not miss it. 108 miles an hour to center field.
.461 feet, the estimated distance on that home run by O'Neill. 2 strikes on Jordan Walker, who's hit in all 11 games of his very young career.
He's not even 21.
Not for another month. And Ollie Marmol's like, hey, you're 20, you're playing every day. Well, that's why we brought you here.
Let's go. A couple things that I've noticed are already with Walker. He has good plate discipline. He stays within the strike zone. He's much more a pull hitter, especially on the ground. That's why the Rockies shift on the left side into that 6-hole. Haven't really had a chance to see the power numbers, but we do know he's already hit two home runs on the season. But the number that stands out, I mean, you know how much I love on base percentage, a 370 on base percentage from a 20-year-old.
That made everyone flinch.
That's the separator. That really is a separator. If you can lay off a 1-2 pitch at the bottom of the strike zone, he's 6'6".
It's a good call by Phil Cousin. Pulled the string there, got the strikeout of Walker. He lost the bat.
He's killed Motter.
And Tyler Motter saying, hey, I'm just getting ready for my AB. That'll do it on the inning. Tyler O'Neill hits one, 461 straight away. We're tied at 1, middle of 2. Mike Moustakas steps in a 1-1 ball game. Moustakas does a Castro here in the second for the Rockies. The breaking ball is over. The curveball he throws, at least this year, really about 1 out of every 9 pitches. It's been heavy dose of fastball slider combination for Flaherty. Here's the 0-1. And he follows that up with a pitch that just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Check it out with Dan Bellino at third. He says, nope, no swing. Two and one. A couple of California kids going at one another. Story's been told many, many times. It still blows me away that Jack Flaherty, Max Fried, and Lucas Giolito all were on the same high school team.
Yeah.
Harvard Westlake in Southern California. And we'll show you a picture here in a moment of these guys as grown-ups.
We've connected with Lucas Giolito about it. So Giolito was the top dog out of this group. It was Giolito, Max Fried, and Jack was the youngest of the group.
That was just off the edge. 3-2. I mean, none of them were chopped liver. I mean, Jack Flaherty was the Gatorade Player of the Year.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually in the state. There they are. All first-round picks. How was your high school pitching staff? You know, it was pretty good, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Of course, the crime was, Spilly, often told as well, they didn't win the CIF. Moustakas grounds out. Daza coming up, and let's get more on this story from Kelsey.
Well, you just saw the picture of that trio. Ryan McMahon played against that trio back in 2012. He actually goes really far back with Jack Flaherty. They played against each other in high school. They actually played on the same area code team, and they faced off twice in a championship game in a high school invitational. Mac's team, for the record, won both times. But that 2012 year, you have Ryan McMahon, Jack Flaherty, Lucas Giolito, Max Fried on the field. And now look at him.
Jonathan Daza fouls it off. So the area code, for those that don't know, you're taking the top prospects in various areas. Billy, I'm sure you were an area code kid.
Area code team.
Right. And if you're participating in the area code games, there's going to be a ton of scouts there. And it's the elite of the elite in high school baseball. In California, where Spilly's from, I mean, they have to break it up, Southern California, Northern California. They can throw out some talent now in the area code games.
So I played in one in 1997, a long time ago. And the top prospect in that entire area code was this first baseman that was playing for a San Francisco Giants area code team. His name was C.C. Sabathia.
Heard of him. Who else from your area code games played in the big leagues? Do you remember how many?
I don't, off the top of my head, I'd have to go back and look. There's the slider down to Daza. He swings right over the top of it on the super ball. But from a personal standpoint, making an area code team was like, that was my first taste of, oh wait, I think I could be pretty decent at baseball. I didn't know.
I mean, going into your senior year, did you have any idea that you'd...
I had no idea, no. I mean, you know how naive I am.
Oh boy, yes I do. 1-0 on Castro. Stop setting me up like that. 2-0 on Harold Castro. 2 outs, 1-1 ball game. I never asked you, did you have a big junior year too in high school?
Yeah, I was a good player, but I played in a very small conference.
This is an easy play at second for Nolan Gorman, and Jack Flaherty has a 1-2-3 inning number 2. We'll go to the third. Rockies won and the Cardinals won. Update brought to you by Bet365. 5.5 runs for the Rockies today. Let's go over. This week, new customers can bet $1 and get $200 in bonus bets, courtesy of Bet365. Rockies gone over that number in each of the first 2 games. 9-1-2 for the Cardinals. Here's Taylor Motter. Motter started at second base yesterday. And then when Freeland came out, by the way, Kyle Freeland threw the ball exceptionally well again. 3 terrific starts for Freeland. 2-0. Motter, when Freeland came out and the Rockies went to the right side, Motter came out for Nolan Gorman. And of course, Gorman eventually had the game-winning hit, the solo home run, to start a 3-run rally in the top of the 9th inning for the Cards. 2-1. Again, Motter, we told you yesterday, he played 13 games, got 20 at-bats in 2021 for Colorado. On the outer edge, so it's 2-2. 85-degree afternoon, same as yesterday. And Urania, looked like a slider that backed up a little bit, but it gets a strikeout. So his third, the first time through the lineup.
There's a changeup at the top of the strike zone. Yeah, 89 miles an hour. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Coors Field. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
So here's Brendan Donovan. And the heater at 96 for a strike on Donovan. He struck out his first time. Slicing toward foul territory, and a good decision by Profar to slide there. So it'll be a 2-strike count on Donovan. Brendan participated in the WBC. He was born in Germany. His dad was in the service and stationed in Germany, so he played in the WBC for Team Germany. Grew up in Alabama. Went to the University of South Alabama. And whenever I think of the University of South Alabama, good baseball program, I think of a former prominent Rocky who went there as well. I'll give it away to you as this is a fly ball to shallow left. Profar will grab it. 2 outs. One of the all-time hardest workers in the history of this organization.
Juan Pierre.
Juan Pierre went to the University of South Alabama.
It's funny you say Juan Pierre. The story with Juan Pierre was you could not get to spring training early enough to beat him. And it wasn't just that Juan Pierre was at spring training sitting at his chair. He was in the batting cage working on his bunts.
Before the sun came up.
Before the sun came up.
That's a literal statement.
And I think the number was close to 1,000 bunts a day.
Well, Dallas Williams was a Rockies coach back then, and he would always have to be there to, to throw to Juan. And we've told this story many times. It's a great story, though. Alec Burleson is at the plate, and he fouls it off. So there was an off day, and Buddy Bell was the manager back then. And you guys get usually 2 off days in spring training, and they're like gold, right? I mean, you're grinding. You're not going to do anything baseball related. Well, Buddy was so afraid that Juan wasn't going to take the day off, that he was be at the complex anyhow, that he called Juan into his office, and he said, if you show up at the facility tomorrow, I'm going to fine you. I mean, how many guys in the history of sports been told, if you go to work on your craft tomorrow, I don't want you to, I'm going to fine you?
Nobody.
Right?
Yeah, that's Helton's favorite player because of the work ethic.
Another 1-2 downstairs, 2-2.
I always said, Todd, who's your favorite teammate? Because Juan Pierre. I go, why? He's like, nobody worked harder than him.
And great personality.
Yeah, he's funny. He's quick-witted, low-key. I mean, he's everything. He was.
This is bounced to the middle of the diamond, and Mack handles it, and it's a good inning for Urania. Strikeout, fly out, ground out. 1-1 ball game. When the game is on the line, call the law offices of BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives. Here's Ezekiel Tovar to lead things off. And he takes ball 1. I got another note on Juan Pierre.
Okay.
If I told you that Juan Pierre on the all-time hit list of the almost 23,000 players to play at the big league level, this is in the air to center, he's 182nd on the all-time hit list. Does that make you pause for a second? 2,217 hits. How many people would know that?
I interviewed him once and I knew that number, so I feel lucky and fortunate. I mean, he also had a nice hit with Jay-Z. So you should add one more to it.
Brian Servin batting ninth. Just the second start for Brian. Let me correct that. It's the third start for Brian. There's great concern on both sides about the walk, and so far in the game, in 3 innings, Urania hasn't walked anyone. Flaherty has yet to walk a batter. Fastball at 94. Third strikeout for Jack Flaherty. Fans, when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations. Do it the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. and you get your Rockies Taco Special. Jurickson Profar, first pitch he saw this afternoon. Launched it 400 feet. Second home run in a Rockies uniform.
I mean, I've been toiling with Rockies in this number over the course of this year, which is pitches per plate appearance. And, you know, you see a first pitch home run, you kind of like it. Wow, that's awesome. Rockies are 25th in baseball. They average right around 3.77 pitches per plate appearance. The league average is 3.91, so they're below league average. The leader in it is the Baltimore Orioles.
That's a bit surprising because they have a young team. Mountcastle have a good day yesterday, Billy?
Very good day.
You drive in 9, that's considered a good day?
You should get a chance to play today.
1-1 going to the 4th.
Ball game, and this Rockies game break is brought to you by Steel. Let's get you out to Citi Field. The Padres visiting the Mets. It's a tied game in the 5th inning, but not for long, with Pete Alonso at the disc. A Sholo shot to left center off of Blake Snell to give them a 1-run lead. It's currently 5-2 in the 8th inning over in New York. And as for Pete Alonso, well, his 6 home runs lead all of baseball, guys.
Yeah, that's no stranger to jogging around the bases, Pete Alonso.
Polar bear. He was funny this offseason. He made it a point every day to run 2 miles, no matter what the weather was.
Outside on Goldschmidt. This is one of those tough innings. Urania is going to face Goldschmidt, Arenado, and Wilson Contreras. 3-0.
Hearing Alonso talk about, so the offseason, he said he wanted to like force his mind to do something it didn't want to do, which was run. And he figured if he could do something that he didn't want to do for an extended period of time and do it, then the season would become easier. There's times where you don't want to work or you're tired. He said so he just wanted to get his brain in the right frame of mind.
And a leadoff walk to Goldschmidt. Again, that's the first walk by Urania. This is the deepest, by the way, Urania's worked in a ball game. He had thrown a grand total of 5 innings in his first 2 outings as he begins the 4th. Nolan hits his ball in the air to deep left, and he has done something we've all seen before. 2-run home run for Arenado, his 2nd of the year, and the Cardinals go on top 3-1.
.301 career home runs for Nolan, 102 miles an hour off the bat. And he sees the walk. He knows Urania with that fastball does not get swing and miss. Gets one up.
you're going to have great respect if you're a pitcher for the duo of Goldschmidt and Arenado, but you still have to make Paul Goldschmidt earn his way on. Can Mac throw out Contreras? Yes, he can. Little help on the other end from Crone. Hopes to have great arm strength, left side arm strength. Wonderful play by McMahon to get Contreras.
Yeah, this is a beautiful play from McMahon. I know last night he's trying to get rid of the error in his mind, so this is one way to do it. Backhand across your body, throwing basically from shortstop position. It's about a 130-foot throw.
Yeah, he made that look pretty easy, didn't he? It was the first pitch strike on Nolan Gorman. Inside. So for Nolan, that was his 138th home run at Coors Field. 4th all time. One behind one Carlos Gonzalez. Gorman bounces this tough play. Oh! Man, you talk about making something look easy, as we were just saying. That was not easy at all. In between hop for Crone, and he just flashed beautiful leather there, didn't he?
This one's tough because you know it's top spun, and there's not another angle you could take unless you're going all the way into the outfield. Almost a do or die type play mentally for CJ with his glove. Man, that ball is going to eat you up.
Yeah, that probably more often than not, would you agree, Spilly's down the right field line?
Yeah, that one's kicking off the heel of your glove. Really, really nice play. So 2 back-to-back plays. Put a star next to McMahon, put a star next to Crone.
Yep, already did that in my book. Tyler O'Neill hit a home run to dead center. Cardinals now up 3-1. Here's the 1-1, and O'Neill takes strike 2. You know, Urania, when he's been on, he gets a high number of ground balls, does not miss a lot of bats. He missed a bat there, but he's also, especially this year, given up a lot of homers in the early going. Nolan gets him for a 2-run shot. It's 3-1 St. Louis.
Check out the newly renovated suite level with state-of-the-art technology, open-air retractable glass, and luxurious finishes. The suite level is the premier destination for entertaining your VIP clients. Call 303-ROCKIES or visit rockies.com/suites to reserve your suite today.
Rockies back to work, down 3-1. Jack Flaherty misses inside on Charlie Blackmon. Charlie a base hit, his first time. Rockies in the bottom of the first got a home run from Profar and then a single from Charlie. Those were, so far, there are only 2 base runners. Number 1 pick in 2014 of the Cardinals, Jack Flaherty, and that's outside, so it's 3-0. Cardinals have stockpiled draft picks and particularly first-round picks. Way outside. That wasn't even close. So Charlie draws a walk. The Cardinals, in fact, Spilly, have more players drafted on their active roster than any other team in baseball. They have 13. Across the state, Kansas City has 11, and then there's 4 teams with 9 each. The Rockies have 8. And one of the interesting things, I think, also about St. Louis, the other day at one point, they had 4 number 1s of the 9 playing on the field. These are just overall draft picks, you know, no matter what round. But they've hit on a lot of their first rounders.
I mean, the good organizations have the ability to draft and develop. And then some organizations, when you do draft and develop well, they will use those prospects and spin them to get and acquire free agents or make trades to get players that they don't have within their system.
After 5 straight out of the zone, that's in there, a strike on McMahon. Ryan hit a ball off the bat basically 106 miles an hour, but it was a screaming one-hopper at the second baseman Nolan Gorman, and it turned into a 4-6-3 double play. Ryan's put it in play this year, one of the top average exit velocities in the game.
And he's right behind JD Martinez.
2-2. This gets through Wilson Contreras. So Charlie goes to second.
This is just a bad miss from Contreras.
It's a it's a fastball. I mean, it's a foot off the ground. That's got to be caught literally at virtually every level, right? (3-2). And that'll fight its way through the left side. Charlie will stop at third. And the Rockies in business here in their half of the fourth. First and third, no one out with C.J. Cron coming up.
Have I ever told you how hard hit percentages are overrated?
Yes. Please.
Here's a good example. This is off the end of the bat slider, so might as well hit it like a slider. So slider on slider crime on the Subaru Supermo. For McMahon, really just off the end of the bat, and he is so happy with the result.
Yeah, Cron not happy with that swing. He was fooled 0-1. But going back to what you were talking about, isn't that baseball though? One of Buddy's favorite lines, when you're trying to make sense out of something that happened, he just falls back on, well, that's baseball. So first time up, McMahon couldn't have hit it much harder, and he ends up producing 2 outs. Couldn't have hit that one much softer, and he's got himself a knock.
That's baseball.
That's baseball. Some of those command issues, Spilly, that we were discussing that were so evident in the first 2 starts for Flaherty.
They're starting to poke its head out.
Yeah.
Well, we are seeing the slider pitch has been the best used pitch to throw strikes for him today.
Those are big misses though, right there. That slider way outside. 2-1 on CJ.
We said this about Jack. When you have a shoulder injury, getting back to the same release point prior to the injury takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of video and feel.
Two and two. 27-year-old Reddy. He's trying to get Cron on a slider. It's been a heavy dose of sliders, to Spilly's point. Outfield straight up and deep. No one out, first and third. And this is going to end up producing 2 outs. Rockies get the run. It's 3-2. 6-4-3 double play.
A pass ball ends up benefiting the Rockies. You get that run. Charlie was able to move up 90 feet.
Two gone, Moustakas. Yeah, the Rockies offense, we touched on it off the top of the broadcast this afternoon. It's been good the last couple of days. Won 7-4 on Monday against the Cardinals. Rockies in that ball game produced 13 hits yesterday. They lost 9-6, but they had a dozen hits both days. Everyone in the lineup had a hit. But even having said that, they've been hurt by the double play a little bit in this series.
We know at Coors Field, because you have more base runners, there's also more opportunities for double plays. But you're right. They've had some scoring chances, and they've hit a lot of balls on the ground.
On Monday, they hit into 2 early double plays in that ball game. Yesterday, remember how much traffic they had early in the ball game? They hit into a double play in the first yesterday and the second. And today, they had first and third, no one out. And they do get a run, but they have a double play hurting the inning significantly.
Well, a year ago for the Rockies, they led the majors in ground ball percentage. They were #1. This year, they're middle of the road. So they are putting the ball in the air more.
Moustakas goes down in the inning. The Rockies get a run, so it's 3-2 going to the 5th. Colorado Rockies baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Big heart and low fares. Book now at southwest.com. Well, Jurickson Profar. It's an image of him when he was competing in the 04-05 Little League World Series. Curacao. Imagine going twice.
You
Little League
twice?
World Series. Yeah, he went 04 and 05. Jordan Walker hits a fly ball to shallow right. Charlie makes the catch, and that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter Taylor Motter. Three-two ball game. 3 hits apiece. Urania to Servant. Sliders low, ball 1. Taylor Motter out of Coastal Carolina. First got to the big leagues in 2016. With Tampa. Next year he's with Seattle. He's got a 3-0 count now. Also has played with Minnesota, the Rockies, we told you briefly, Boston, Cincinnati last year. Got 6 at bats. There's a great baseball term that applies to so many aspects of the game. Just keep grinding, right? That's what he's done. 3-2. Most ABs he's ever had in a season was his second year in Seattle. He had 258 at bats, hit 7 home runs. And Urania comes all the way back and gets a strikeout on Taylor Motter. 5th strikeout for Jose. 2 gone. And Brendan Donovan will come up. Let's check in again with Kelsey.
The Lowdown is brought to you by Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Fast, fair, and friendly. Well, the Rockies' top draft pick in 2022, Gabriel Hughes, dealt in his high A Spokane debut the other night. 5 no-hit, no-walk shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. You guys, he only threw 63 pitches in those 5 innings, 41 of those for strikes. He looked real good in his debut, almost as good as he looked in that spring training game versus the Dodgers. But really, really positive stuff for their top draft pick, Gabriel Hughes.
Yeah, Gabriel Hughes pitching in the town he went to school in. He went to Gonzaga, and they were rained out every day over the weekend. So he had to just keep waiting and waiting, and Monday's an off day in the minor leagues. This is a base hit for Donovan to center, so he's 1 out of 3, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Alec Burleson. But you know, 5 no-hit innings is making a statement, and I think the Rockies believe he can move very quickly, and he has a chance. You know, he's a kid, but he has a chance to be, you know, an upper portion of the rotation type of arm. See how it all plays out, but a wonderful start for Gabriel Hughes. I think Jaden Hill's going tonight for Spokane. And that's a base hit for Burleson. Jaden Hill's another guy with an abundance of talent.
Yeah, Rockies are hopeful that these players continue to just throw strikes down the minor league system. It's change up out of the hand of Urania. Burleson just rips it into right field. Now you have a problem with Goldschmidt and Nolan coming up again. Darryl Scott coming out, connecting with Brian Servin and Jose Urania. Goldie and Nolan in this series, they have driven in 9 of the 16 runs.
Burleson at first base is kind of quietly hitting 7 consecutive games for the Cardinals. But he's going to get somebody up. Talked about it last time, Spilly. I mean, you pitched way back in high school and briefly in college, and you know that fine line of healthy respect, but you can't fear, you know, the Goldschmidt and Arenado. You got to find a way to get them out, and you can't be so fine that you work yourself into a 2-0, 3-1 type of count again.
And no matter what, you always have to believe your stuff is good enough to get somebody out.
So here we go. And the first pitch is well located at 97 for strike 1. Goldschmidt a double and a walk in front of the home run by Arenado last inning. 2 outs. Back-to-back singles by Donovan and Burleson. 3-2 St. Louis. And this is fouled off. Brent Suter is the man that Buddy Black asked to get up. And Brent getting ready quickly.
This is where you have to get a swing and a miss.
He did. How about that? On 3 pitches, Jose Urania strikes out Paul Goldschmidt with some traffic out there.
6 punchies and a huge one of Goldie.
.85 degrees at Coors Field. Rockies down a run as they bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. Flaherty misses with that breaking ball. And heavy dose of sliders today. Jonathan Daza struck out swinging. 4 strikeouts for Flaherty. Rockies got a run out of the gate by hitting the long ball off the bat of Jurickson Profar. The first pitch of the afternoon from Flaherty. Scratched out a run in the 4th. Charlie came around after beginning the inning with a walk. Daza chases 1-2. Daza's got a little 5-game hitting streak going, 8 for 20. If Jose Urania's done through 5 innings, 6 strikeouts. Late last year in a couple of starts he struck out 6. Hasn't struck out more than that since May of 2021. He got 7 Kansas City Royals in Kansas City, and that's not normally his game, even though he'll throw the baseball in the mid to upper 90s. Talking to Darryl Scott. 2-2.
Today's game, he was walking in with a strikeout per 9 for Urania below a 2. You know, you see him punch out 6, and he got some important ones too. The big one last inning to finish against Paul Goldschmidt on the slider. Nice pitch.
That slider's bounced to 3rd. Taylor Motter playing over there for Nolan Arenado, throws him out. Gonna bring up the DH Harold Castro. That looks good. I mean, it always looks good, but if it's 85,
eat it. Well, eat it.
He's saving some for a little bit later.
Let's go. What are we doing? There you go.
The camera was distracting him.
I understand.
He is taking his time, though. 2 strikes on Harold.
All right, I brought up the question about pitches per plate appearance, and How does it correlate to walk rate? How does it correlate for the Rockies offense? So right now they're 25th in baseball pitches per plate appearance, which is right around 3.7. The top 5 teams that see the most pitches are all top 10 in walk rates. The Rockies are right now 28th in walk percentage. So that needs to be a number that has to go up. So it's okay to fire your swing, but you also have to be able to take the pitches on the edges so you can increase the likelihood that you can work a walk. The walk is arguably one of the most important keys to offenses with strikeout rates as high as they are.
Tovar's on deck. Here's the 1-2 to Castro. And he soft serves this to center field, and it's tracked down by Brendan Donovan. It's the second out of the 5th inning.
The Colorado Rockies Home Run 5K is back on Saturday, May 20th. Sign up online at Rockies.com/5K to secure your spot.
You know, going back to the strikeout, and Urania getting a half dozen today, but you know, the Rockies overall as a pitching staff don't get a high rate of strikeouts, and that hurts at Coors Field, especially because you know there's going to be more traffic here because of the vastness of this ballpark. The average per 9 innings is 8.78, so just shy of 1 per inning is what pitchers strike out in this day and age, where it's almost a 23% strikeout rate. By the way, in 1988 it was 12%, to give you an idea of how the philosophies have changed, and it's all about hitting the ball over the wall. The Rockies are 27th coming into today, 7.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. The Cardinals, by contrast, and they have some issues in their rotation, clearly.
Yeah.
But they're at basically 9.2 strikeouts, so they're above the norm, and they're 9th in baseball. 1-2 on Tovar. That's another exciting thing about Gabriel Hughes. I don't want to put too much. This is a young man that was just drafted a year ago, but Gabriel Hughes, stuff-wise, it should profile as a guy that can get strikeouts. And speaking of strikeouts, that's what happens to Tovar. So 1-2, 3/5. We march to the 6th inning. 1-run game. Oh,
Eat
now,
it. Eat it.
Well, still nibbling too much. Well, Nolan in his last at bat hit a ball over the left center field wall. He's accustomed to hitting home runs here. Said he was one behind Cargo. He actually tied Cargo with that swing of the bat for home runs at Coors Field. Second of the year for Nolan, who has hit in 11 of the 12 Cardinal games. Brent Suter's out there now for the Rockies. Pitched 2 terrific innings on Monday in the Rockies' victory over St. Louis.
He's already becoming a clubhouse favorite.
Marks the fastball in there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Had a couple guys today say, have you spent some time with Suter yet? I said, yeah, passing a little bit. So he's awesome.
Big personality. 1-2, and he badly fools Nolan. 1 out. Wilson Contreras coming up.
I mean, everything about how Suter works, the mechanics, it almost feels like he speeds you up, and then he's constantly taking his foot off the gas.
Well, that has to feel good for Brent, because those two matched up a few times, especially in the Central, and most of the time it was advantage Nolan. He was 7 for 12 against Suter prior to that at bat with a couple of home runs.
It's good to see Rockies getting some punch outs today. That's the 7th one.
Wilson Contreras has hit it on the ground twice. Numbers so far on Brent this year. Cardinals will return home after the game. They have a date with the Pirates coming up. And the Pirates will make their way out to Denver. Rockies heading to Seattle for a 3-game set over the weekend.
And the Rockies decide they're going to leave after the game today with an off day tomorrow. Sometimes you'll see, we've done this in the past, where guys prefer to stay home after a day game, leave midday during an off day.
The Rockies, as you know, Spilly, have not done that in about a half a dozen years. They, to acclimate, have spent the off days on the road. Back-to-back strikeouts, that changeup a beauty. Wilson Contreras goes down, and here's Nolan Gorman. And he gets jammed, and
hey, my ball.
Somebody grab it. Moustakis took the honors. Suter, terrific again.
Looking for an exciting venue to hold your company picnic this summer? Coors Field offers 4 unique picnic areas throughout the ballpark. From the rooftop to the club level, we can accommodate groups of 25 to 200, prices that fit any budget. Call 303 Rockies for more information.
Brian Serven trying to bunt his way on. 9-1-2 for the Rockies, trailing by a run as they bat in the 6th inning. Profar and then Blackman this inning. And hopefully others. Rockies have been out hit 5-3. Zach Thompson is now up in the Cardinal bullpen. Speaking of former #1 picks. Brian utilizing his timeout. And that is going to find its way to center field. So the tying run aboard as Serven breaks his bat on an 0-2 pitch, but is rewarded.
Yeah, he is. I love it when he's serving the ball into the outfield. Broken bat, seeing eye single. And that ball is going to be in the dirt. It's a slider, and Flaherty's had more swing and misses on the slider than any pitch he's thrown today. Any type of pitch.
Here's Profar, home run and a pop out. And there's another. This one's more of a cutter.
He's been throwing the cut fastball on occasion. He's thrown about 12 of them.
And there's another cutter. 2 strikes on Profar, native of Curacao. That home run that he hit in the 1st inning was his 5th career leadoff home run. He wants a couple of home runs against Flaherty. And that's strike 3. He reached back on 96 there. That's one of the hardest pitches he's thrown in the game. So there's 1 out, and that'll bring up Blackman.
That's a tough little sequence. He goes cutter, under the hands. He started thinking in, and then he throws a fastball right down the middle, 4-seam. Phil Cuzzy throwing up the right hand. That's 6 strikeouts for Jack.
See, Ali Marmol's got Thompson, the lefty, up, and you have back-to-back lefties in Blackman and McMahon. The thing that I always find interesting, and he's going to keep Flaherty in there, is the rush to bring in a lefty frequently to face Blackman, who is a .307 career hitter against lefties. Higher, actually, than what he's hit against righty. And Charlie hits everybody.
Yeah,
you know that.
Charlie does hit everybody.
He hits everybody. But still, you know, if you look at those numbers, and we're in this analytics age, wouldn't you say, hey, you know, we may be better off with a righty against him?
6 for 11 the season against lefties, 545 batting average, 233 against righties.
This ball is going to turn Walker around. He leaps and he drops a baseball. Heading towards third is Servant. Blackman into second, and the Rockies catch a break. Charlie hit it hard, and he twisted the youngster around in deep right field.
Already early in the season, defensively, the Cardinals are nowhere near where they were a year ago. And for Jordan Walker in right field, as much as we've been praising his at-bats, he's already a -3 defensive runs saved in right field. He'll go down as a double. With the Cardinals' defensive efficiency last in baseball. Just get a bat from Charlie again. Hey, nice job.
So Charlie scoring position with 1 out in the 6th. Zach Thompson in relief of Jack Flaherty. Ryan McMahon at the plate. And Mac takes one spinning, ball 1. Saw Thompson on Monday, and he faced a couple of hitters. He gave up an RBI double to Ezekiel Tovar and then got Jurickson Profar. He's yet to give up an earned run this year. It's his 5th outing.
Yeah, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. It's a fastball curveball. There's the curveball. I will point this out. Usually, Drew, when you have a 2-pitch reliever, they're usually plus pitches on both of them. There's no need for a slider or changeup. So he feels really good about his ability to spin a curveball.
Here's the 2-0. And good discipline by McMahon. He's got a 3-0 count. You have Crone on deck.
Well, if I'm Ryan McMahon, I'm looking center fastball. If he gives it to you, fire.
Well, can't fire at that. You got a fastball, but it was 4 feet outside. So the bases are loaded for C.J. Crone.
Well, it's not the end of the world for St. Louis. That was the wiggle room at first base. It's not ideal. You want to get either the pop-up or a strikeout of McMahon. They don't get it, but they're still in the double play. And we know Crone has already grounded into 1 today.
First pitch called strike. Bases loaded. Rockies trailing 3-2, 1 out. And that's a called strike. 0-2.
CJ did not like that last pitch in.
And on 3 pitches, he gets him. Got him with a curveball. So now it'll be left to Mike Moustakas.
You get the fastball in, called for a strike, and then he layered it with the curveball right off of it. Really tough for CJ to put this ball in play. And he's had such good numbers at Coors Field in run scoring opportunities.
So timeout called by Wilson Contreras as the curveball missed to Moustakas. Mike's grounded out and struck out. Those 2 at bats obviously came against Jack Flaherty. Inning started with a Brian Servin single to center on an 0-2 pitch. After a strikeout by Profar, Charlie a double to deep right. McMahon walked. Bases loaded now, 2 outs. Rockies again trailing by a run in the 6th. And this ball lined to center field, but it is right at Tyler O'Neill. So the Rockies do not take advantage of that opportunity, and will go to the 7th in a 1-run game. Profar leadoff home run, his 5th of his career on the first pitch from Jack Flaherty today. Gave the Rockies an early lead. Cardinals up now 3-2. Nolan has a 2-run home run. And Urania, 5 innings, better. I mean, obviously his first two were not good for Jose. He walked only once, struck out 6. The long ball continues to hurt him, though.
It's just because the fastball's not getting much swing and miss. I mean, almost half the balls put in play against Urania has been hit over 95 miles an hour. So the location for him is much better. He did miss a couple spots. It was good to see some punch outs. The Rockies are 1 for 4 today and runners in scoring position. They had a chance to tie it up. They missed out.
Brent Suter, 1-2-3 inning in the 6th with a couple of strikeouts. And O'Neill lines this to center field. That'll bring up Jordan Walker. 0 for 2 for Walker. Let's take a look at a message now from your Front Range Toyota stores. See if Brent can get a ground ball here with Walker. Did he hold up? No, he didn't. And check it at first with Mark Ripperger.
Side look, yeah. And I mean, I'm always gonna be biased towards hitters. I never think it's a full swing.
One and 2 on Jordan Walker. A young man who they committed to Duke before he went in the first round.
Nice little brain matchup, Duke versus Yale.
Or Harvard.
Or Harvard. LaVarnway was Yale.
Yeah, LaVarnway was Yale. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Jordan Walker not pleased with Phil Cuzzy. And he'll walk off. That's the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Taylor Motter.
I would say Phil has been liberal on the sides. I mean, it's been a
that's
up and down. It's been tight, but on the edges, it's been forgiving.
Yeah, I think when Phil sees that one later on, he's going to understand why he got the glare from the 20-year-old. That was well outside, but Brent Suter will take it. Motter has struck out twice, those matchups with Urania.
At least he's been consistent. I mean, it's on both sides. That last pitch for Motter, right in the same spot for Walker. The Rockies have had a couple 0-1 fastball into CJ Cron.
Runner going, and the throw sidearm by Servin is not going to get Tyler O'Neill. He's been nursing a sore hamstring, but O'Neill brings a lot to the ballpark. The power. He also can do this.
Yeah, he can. It's his first stolen base of the season, but you can see by the swing from Motter, this was a design play. This was a hit and run. You know, one of the criticisms of the game being fast is, hey, there's no strategy. It's going too fast. That is such a false narrative. We've seen more bunts, more stolen bases, more hit and runs.
And the success rate of stolen bases is up, and Motter is going to drive in Tyler O'Neill. And he's digging for second, and he'll arrive with a double. So now it's a 2-run lead for St. Louis, 4-2. First RBI of the year for Taylor Motter.
He's still second base on a hit and run. Then with 2 strikes, Motter inside out. Yeah, Suter goes straight to his glove. He's not happy with the location. He wanted that pitch down and away.
So Buddy's going to go to another left-hander, Brad Hand, here with the top of the order coming up. Cardinals up in the 7th, 4-2.
Command on the mound for the Rockies in the 7th inning. And if you missed it earlier, Armand Marquez has been placed on the 15-day IL with that forearm tightness. The Rockies are hopeful that he'll be back off of the IL whenever he's eligible. But hopefully the Rockies are going to be getting some reinforcement into that rotation soon, because Antonio Senzatella on the IL with the ACL injury. He'll pitch Friday in a game. He's worked through about 3 or 4 simulated games where hitters have been in the box with no protective screen. But Friday, there's an umpire, there's an opponent. They say his arm feels great, and now it's just a matter of confidence in the knee and strength in that knee. But reinforcements hopefully on the way, guys.
All right, Kelsey, thanks very much. Brad Hand, the 3-time All-Stars in the ball game, 1-0 on Brendan Donovan. Donovan a base hit in the 5th, 1 out of 3. Moderate second after doubling in Tyler O'Neill. There is 1 out. Rockies trailing 4-2 now. And that's in there for a strike. Brad trying to bounce back after a tough outing in his last appearance. He threw 8 straight pitches out of the strike zone initially. Walked in a run and then had a wild pitch that scored a run. Brad Hand, a guy that first reached the big leagues in 2011. He has a very distinguished resume. First got to the big leagues, Spill, you may recall. I mean, you were still playing. He was a starter.
Yep, I do remember him. He's with the Marlins.
There's the 1-2 on Donovan, and he gets him on a sweeper.
This is the pitch that made him one of the league's best closers. He was for years in the Padres bullpen, was one of the hardest guys to square up. Slider, late movement. It's a good job of hiding the baseball. His natural mechanics, it's short, he's quick.
Here's Burleson, and that's a heater at 93 for a strike. High water mark in saves was 34 in 2019 with Cleveland. And 32 saves between San Diego and Cleveland the previous year. And now Brad's ahead 0-2. Even last year with Philadelphia, he had some opportunities to close games. He had 5 saves. Oh, 2. Burleson had a base hit in the 5th. Waves at that. So Brad Hand comes on. He fans both lefties, Brendan Donovan and Alec Burleson. Oh, another run for the Cards, 4-2 as we stretch in Denver.
Mini plan, reserve your discounted seat for Yankees and summer fireworks games now when you buy this flexible ticket plan. Go to Rockies.com/tickets for details.
So the Rockies have 9 outs to work with offensively. They're down 4-2 in this rubber game of a 3-game set. Rockies and Cardinals, and they're going to face a guy they saw a couple of days ago in Drew Verhagen. Verhagen threw an inning in the Monday affair. Gave up a couple of hits.
Yeah, this guy is not an easy reliever to face. 4-pitch mix, fastball around 97. He's come back after playing a couple of years in Japan, and he's a totally different pitcher.
Daza got a knock off him the other day. Swings and misses there, 0-1. Castro on deck. Rockies left the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Kind of strange. It's the only 3 runners left on base today by Colorado. And the day started beautifully. Jurickson Profar hit the first pitch in the bottom of the 1st inning out of the ballpark. Rockies have done nicely against the Cardinals here in Denver the last several years. That's down the left field line, and a really long run for Burleson. He was way over in left center field, and it'll be a leadoff double for Daza.
That's one way to punch back. Get a hanging off-speed pitch up, and Daza really good bat-to-ball skills. We know this. He just pulls it right down the third baseline.
Fourth double of the year for Daza. And that's a line shot, and then an errant throw. Daza, I don't think, realizes it and can't take advantage. I mean, that ball ended up all the way in a nook in left field, but Daza's shaken up on the head-first slide back in on the hard shot by Castro.
There's a good chance that Daza got spiked. Line drive by Castro, fielded clean, almost ripping over to second base, and Daza have to see if he did get spiked. Yeah, he got spiked in the right hand.
And you see Donovan.
That's
realizes,
smart.
he realizes Daza's not sure of where the ball is, so he dekes him. That's, you know, that's fair game. Nothing legal about that.
You feel a glove on your arm, you're not going to all of a sudden take off running. It's a very heady play from Donovan. I mean, last year, Gold Glove as a utility player.
Gold brain on that play.
Yeah, that's a gold brain.
So Tovar will come up. Castro hit that ball close to 104 miles an hour. And all he gets is an attaboy. Tovar's 0 for 2. Got to find a way, Spilly, to cash this in. Been a ton of opportunities for the Rockies. They had the bases loaded with with 1 out last inning. Crone struck out on 3 pitches against Zach Thompson, and Moustakas hit a liner, but it was right at the center fielder O'Neill. 2-1 on 21-year-old Ezequiel Tovar, who hit .284 throughout his minor league career. Last year he had 13 home runs in Hartford in just 66 games. Out of play. Saying that the Rockies have had success, 11-7 their last 18 at home, but they've lost 12 in a row in St. Louis. In fact, in St. Louis, their last 41 games, they've won just 6 times.
That's not good.
Three and 2 on Tovar. Servin is on deck.
I kind of wonder if Buddy's going to go to his Chris Bryant card. Try to pinch hit.
Ball 4. Or you have Nolan Jones.
Yeah, it's a pinch hit situation. So they're going to go Diaz for Servin.
Yep, catcher for catcher. They've done that before.
Okay.
And Diaz, keep in mind, is really swinging a hot bat. In fact, he may be the hottest of any Rocky right now. He's got a 6-game hitting streak going, Spilly.
Well, he's in a good spot. I mean, he was struggling a little bit at the end of spring training, but once he gets locked in, he's a big part of the field. And then when he does stay a big part of the field, he can rip his hands inside. 474 batting average, the big on base percentage. Love seeing it.
Oh, baby, RBI now.
Good swing. So 5 stakes the last 4 games, 5 ribbies for Diaz. Pinch hitting here in the 7th.
I don't want to gloss over the fact that was Tovar's first walk.
That's the first walk for Ezekiel. It's the 500th major league game for Elias Diaz. Third pitcher utilized today by St. Louis, Drew Verhagen. Daz at second, Tovar at first. No swing. Boy, that was close. Hold your breath close.
He's strong enough. He holds it up.
And that's a base hit to center. Daza will score. Throw going toward third. Tovar beats it. Stay hot, Elias Diaz. 1-run game.
Bud Black using the right card right here by pinch hitting Servin with Diaz. And for Diaz, he's not trying to pull the baseball. He's just kind of two-strike approach. Trying to put the barrel on the ball. Aggressive read from Tovar. It still goes back. You know, Tovar with his first walk of the season, he's getting a hug at third base right now from Warren Schaefer. It's those type of at-bats for young players that are huge growth moments, because you're close to 50 at-bats in this 2023 season without a walk against a reliever, down a couple runs. He wants to do something. He's not swinging the bat particularly well, and you work a walk, and the value of that walk is massive.
So the Rockies within a run. They're 3 for 5 pinch hitting with runners in scoring position. Back in a moment. Cardinals leading 4-3. Tovar represents the tying run. The Rockies are not a fleet team, but one of the guys that can run was at first base on this knock by Diaz as we check out the T-Mobile coverage cam.
Important to use your speed at certain times, especially at Coors Field. There's a long run for an outfielder. If the guy's going to his left for Tyler O'Neill, it's a harder throw across your body. Very smart.
Here's Profar. And slowly hit. He's got to get up the line. Diaz and safe. So Profar, because he can run and didn't hit it that hard. You know, we talked about foot speed. 2 of the guys that have decent foot speed. Profar has the ability to run a little bit, and Tovar scores because he got to third, and we have a tie baseball game in the 7th.
Yeah, this inning has worked out really well, especially when you consider where it started. Bottom of the lineup. And for Profar, you have to get out of the box fast. And he did benefit from having that bat explode.
Now Palante immediately throws over. 1 disengagement. The Rockies have not looked to run much. The success rate is close to 82% in the early going for baseball. Blackman at the plate. Charlie, who doubled in his last at bat, also has a single today and a walk. A perfect afternoon for the 36-year-old who had the luxury of yesterday off. Palante with the early season inflated ERA. He's given up 10 hits in 5 1/3. 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Look to run here?
Sure. And the Rockies only have 2 stolen bases on the season.
Profar not going. Charlie fouls it back.
We're watching a new method. It's not a new method, it's an old method, but the walking lead, the hopping lead that creates some momentum. It's been a technique used for many, many years, but it's starting to become in vogue again.
2-2.
See, the Yankees are near the top of baseball in stolen bases. It's a technique that they've been using. The Diamondbacks are one of the better teams in baseball right now in stealing, but they also have team speed. It's more technique than anything.
And Charlie lifts this ball to right center field. Walker and O'Neill makes the catch. I don't know if Walker ever saw it. In the inning, the Rockies tie the game. Daza got it started with a double. 4-4 heading to the 8th. AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Big heart and low fares. Book now at southwest.com. And by Coors Banquet. Coors Banquet has had the same brewing tradition for 150 years. Because when you're a favorite beer of rock stars and cowboys, you don't compromise. Rockies trying to win this 3-game set, and they're tied at 4 after scoring a couple of times. In the 7th inning, we'll go to the 8th inning. Profar has been in the middle of things today. His hustle got the Rockies even as Tovar scored to make it 4-4. Now the Rockies will turn the baseball over to a guy who's been throwing it exceptionally well, Justin Lawrence, and he'll get Goldschmidt, Arenado, and Contreras. And right now, if you could handpick a guy out of that bullpen to face that threesome, it would be Justin Lawrence.
This would be the guy.
And guess what? Buddy had the opportunity to handpick. And that fastball at 95 is in there, and quickly it's a 2-strike count on the reigning National League MVP, Paul Goldschmidt. Hey, you know who else gets an attaboy? Brad Hand. 2 strikeouts coming in last inning. See you later. 97 Rembrandt, as they used to say years ago.
Rockies have pitched really well today. Really well. We are now at 12 strikeouts of the St. Louis Cardinals. So there's that run back fastball. It's 2-seam action from that arm angle. Diaz behind the plate. So he had the big pinch hit single. And then he just sticks a beautiful pitch on the edge.
Nolan takes a slider. Ball 1. Nolan a 2-run home run back in the 4th against Jose Urena. Pulled toward the hole. Can Tovar throw him out? Yeah, on the tag. On the tag by Crone. What a play on both ends. How good was that?
The last 30 minutes for Tovar, huge. Walk, good at bats, base running, and now a defensive play. And the slide, and that's a dangerous play for any first baseman. Trying to get right on the backside. Let's see, he looks like he caught Nolan right on the pocket.
And a bouncing ball right side. Matt's got to wait for Crone, and CJ got, oh man, he wasn't on the bag. CJ had come off about 40 feet thinking he might have to field this baseball.
The play unfolding, you can tell off the bat. Watch Crone, he takes a false step, then he realizes he has to get back, find the bag, even with the bigger bag. Can't find it. I don't know if Justin Lawrence could have gotten over there. The way that Justin falls off the mound, he's not too nimble to first base immediately.
Initially scoring that, and I don't agree with this, but I'm just passing it along. They're scoring that an error on Cron. That should not be an error, in my mind. It should be an infield hit. This ball to left field and deep off the bat of Gorman, and it's gone. Man, does that hurt now. Gorman, who hit a 9th inning homer yesterday, hits a 2-run 8th inning homer here to make it 6-4.
No question, that is extremely frustrating. And last night he had an error at second base, another one. I don't want to call it a mental error because it wasn't a mental error. It's just based on positioning. They hand it to the Cardinals, and they get the extra out, and they made it pay. They made it count.
You know, different situation than the one yesterday that hurt the Rockies with Ryan McMahon, who's exceptionally short-handed. Been a Gold Glove finalist now on a couple of occasions. But if that does stand as an error, the 2 runs are unearned and prolong an inning where you hope to be in the dugout. And that's strike 3 on Tyler O'Neill, but damage done again by Nolan Gorman, who just hit his 4th home run. And the Rockies have to play catch up again as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Fans, when the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 in the afternoon to get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell. And the Rockies need to score 7 or more if they want to win this baseball game. 8th inning, bottom half, they're down 6-4. The Rockies just tied it up, had momentum. Got 2 quick outs from Justin Lawrence, and then that ground ball on the right side where Cron thought he may have to go get it and then trying to retreat. Lawrence hesitated for a moment. All of that allowed, in this case, Contreras to reach, and then Nolan Gorman hits an opposite field home run. 2-0 on McMahon. Palante hits the strike zone there, 2-1. Cron on deck, Moustakas after that. Mac's been on twice today, 1 for 2 and a walk. And this is chopped over the mound. See if Mac can beat this. Donovan gets him by half a step.
Kind of hoping for one extra little bounce in there, and Donovan just grabs it on the short hop. Goldschmidt's protecting himself at first. Notice how he gets in his low crouch. He knows that there's going to be a hard throw. He almost sets himself up like a catcher.
So Palante will come off. 1 out in the 8th. Rockies. Rockies trailing 6-4. CJ Cron coming up against the guy who got credit for the victory in yesterday's come from behind victory for St. Louis, Giovanni Gallegos. So Giovanni's on for the 3rd time this year. Cron 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, and he went around. CJ was the player of the week the first week of the season. He's 3 for 33 since. And you get one of those situations, Billy, where you're in go mode all the time. We've seen CJ getting upside down counts quickly. He's got a 1-1 count here.
And 12 strikeouts during those at bats. In the case of Gallegos, there was one appearance before yesterday because he was dealing with some ailments from the WBC. So back-to-back days, and to throw a day game after a night game. See how he responds. CJ must not be seeing the ball well at all. I mean, that was a slider in the middle. Out of the hand, it's right there for CJ, and with 2 strikes, it's now 13 strikeouts in the last 33 at-bats for CJ.
Moustakas starting at third this afternoon, 0 for 3. And he takes a fastball for strike 1. Rockies 3-3 on this homestand. First of the year. The Rockies have won only 1 game, unfortunately, that has not been started by someone named Marquez or Freeland. It was a few days ago when Feltner started, and the Rockies got a win against Washington. Strike 3. Oh, I thought Cuzzy lifted his arm. Fortunately, did not. Cardinals now barking at Phil Cuzzy a bit.
He's had a couple pitches right there that were called strike.
That's foul.
This series specifically for the Rockies, especially the last 2 games. I mean, they had yesterday. Yesterday's one's a frustrating loss because that's a win. The way the last inning, I mean, that's an out to second base. They get 1 extra shot.
Gallego strikes out Cron and Moustakas back-to-back. So we'll go to the 9th at 6-4 Cardinals. Top of 9 with Ryan Spilborghs and Kelsey Wingert. I'm Drew Goodman. Rockies heading to Seattle after the ball game. I'd love to produce a 9th inning rally, but first things first, Connor Seabold will take over. It'll be the 4th appearance for Connor, who's kind of been used in multiple roles by Buddy here in the early going.
Yeah, you're just trying to keep the Cardinals at bay. You have the bottom of the lineup for St. Louis. Jordan Walker trying to avoid something he hasn't done yet in his major league career. And in the case of Connor, he could care less. You want to get the leadoff runner out.
Walker, who has an 11-game hitting streak to begin his career, one off tying the major league record, is 0 for 3. And this is toward the middle of the diamond, and he has himself a 12-game hitting streak. To begin his career, he ties Eddie Murphy from early in the 20th century.
So slider off the end of the bat, but based on how the Cardinals how the Rockies are shifting Walker, they expect him to pull hard. Ends up having a C&I single.
And the baseball, his teammates love it, and there's always, wherever you go, there's always going to be Cardinal fans. They've been around forever, and they're such an astute fan base. A lot of the fans of the Cardinals here at Coors Field stood and gave him an ovation. They realized that he had tied the major league record, and the baseball was thrown in the direction of the Cardinals dugout.
Man, that's an amazing record. That's been around for a long time. You're talking about somebody that's not even 21 years old, beginning his career with a 12-game hit streak.
Taylor Motter made an RBI single in the 7th. One ball, one strike. Rockies got Seabold from the Red Sox for cash considerations in January after Connor was designated for assignment in the middle of January. Pulled to third. Moustakas did not have a play on Walker. He got back quickly, 1 out.
Starting to feel a breeze up in the booth, and it's blowing out. Once you start feeling this breeze, the ball will carry out to right center field. A little bit of a jet stream. It's still warm, 80 degrees.
The Rockies have Daza, Castro, Tovar scheduled in the 9th. Keep in mind they have Chris Bryant on their bench. Off speed in there for a strike. 1-1 on Donovan. Ryan Helsley beginning his preparation to throw the 9th inning for St. Louis. 2-1. Rockies got some traffic against Helsley yesterday in the 9th. Big hit eluded them though. Get an idea how big Walker is. Stubby Clapp just walked over, and I was going to say tried to whisper in his ear. He can't come anywhere close to whispering in Jordan's ear. That's off the foot, so that's a foul ball. Jordan Walker is 6'6", and Stubby Clapp needs a step ladder to talk to him. This is playable. Moustakas makes the catch. 2 out. Walker is a big young kid who can run a little bit, but you were pointing out how with the disengagements you're seeing more, we saw this in spring training with Zach Fiend. Guys who will, bounce a little bit at first base and take walking leads and dare pitchers to throw over. Walker's been doing that.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you just don't want to be in the air when somebody's throwing over. But I like the analogy of if there's a Ferrari at the line, a stop line, and you and your super nice car, you have a rolling stop. If you're rolling into it, you'll beat the Ferrari off the line. So they try to keep the guys moving. It's really hard to go full speed from a stop.
2-0 on Burleson. And Seabold really wants to get the 24-year-old Alec Burleson, because on deck is Goldschmidt. Rockies trailing 6-4. They've been out hit 9-7. That touches the zone. 2-1. Seabold is the 5th pitcher utilized today. 3-1.
The Rockies have struck out 13 Cardinals.
It's a high number for this Rockies staff, number one. It's a high number for Coors Field.
Yeah, it's a season high for Colorado this season.
Burleson fires at that 3-1. He got a fastball to his liking, 3-2. So I'm sure Cron now is going to move behind Walker at first. Give himself a little more range. Here's the 3-2 and not close. So Goldschmidt will get the hit with 2 on. Goldschmidt's day began with a double. He walked and scored in the 4th, and then a couple of strikeouts since then. Two out in the 9th, and that first fastball misses. Brent Suter went an inning and a third following Jose Urena. Brent gave up a run on a couple of hits. He had 3 strikeouts as Darryl Scott will go to the mound. Brad Hand, 2/3 of an inning, struck out both hitters he faced. Lawrence pitched an inning, and as for now, there was an error attributed to the 3rd man he faced, who was Wilson Contreras, and then the 2-run home run by Nolan Gorman followed. And now here in the 9th, it's Connor Seabold.
Only the 2nd walk of the day for the Rockies, but not a good one.
There's the 1-0 to Goldschmidt. And he goes slider and gets it over, so it's 1-1. Line drive to the left field corner. Walker will score. Burleson's going to get a green light. Now he gets a late stop sign. He's got to hustle back to the bag. So the walk is a painful one for the Rockies. You had to deal with Goldschmidt. And the MVP comes through with his 7th RBI. Now the Rockies trail by 3.
There's Goldschmidt. Very small movement. He gets his foot down early. He spins on it. Just rips it right past Moustakas in 3rd. And Walker, that 12-game hit streak, long striding it to home. The Rockies are going to avoid Nolan. Very intentionally walked Nolan. The free bases loaded now for Wilson Contreras.
We've said it so many times through the years, Billy, and you experienced it for a number of years as a big leaguer. At the best level of this sport, it's the little things. It's always a fine line. This is on the ground to short, and that'll end the inning. Another run, though, for St. Louis, and it'll make the bottom of the 9th that much more difficult as the Rockies trail 7-4. Here's the line score on the ball game. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. 4 runs, 7 hits, an error on the Rockies. And in the 9th inning, Daza is going to lead it off. And Ryan Helsley is going to try to get the final 3 outs for the Cardinals. Rockies saw Helsley in the 9th yesterday. The first 2 guys to face him, Profar and Bryant, had base hits. Rockies were trailing by 3 last night, but then McMahon struck out, Cron hit a fly ball to center, and Moustakas struck out to end the ball game. The Rockies trying to create traffic, and then they have Bryant on the bench potentially. They also have a left-handed bat who's red hot, albeit in AAA, in Nolan Jones, who has a lot of power.
Hell's 2 out of 3 in save opportunities this season.
Ball 1 from Ryan Helsley. 6 pitchers utilized today by Ollie Marmol. Daza double in the 7th when the Rockies got momentum back. They tied the game. They were down 4-2. Elias Diaz pinch hitting for Brian Serven, fell behind in the count, but then lined a single to center to drive in a run. Jurickson Profar, a jam shot roller to second, and hustled up the line to beat the return throw on a potential double play. That scored the equalizer because Tovar, who had walked for the first time this year, was able to score. And the Rockies were in a good place, but now they're not in a good place. Down by 3 in the 9th. Castro on deck. That one almost took the glove off the left hand of Wilson Contreras.
Ball touched 102. I mean, it's fun to see, but if it's nowhere near the strike zone, it doesn't really matter. To your point, Drew, I mean, there's a lot of parts of today's game for the Rockies that they've done well. We had 13 strikeouts. Tovar's made some nice plays, had a walk. They've done some little things, but then on the other side of it, 2-out walk, not covering first base.
Daza goes down. You know, one of the emphasis for the Rockies throughout spring training, and Buddy talked about it a lot late last year, and he talked about it in March. The Rockies, as you see this pitch, swung on and missed, a slider, to clean up the defense. And it's not just errors, it's sometimes outs that should be put away or double plays that need to be completed. Strike on Castro.
And sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes I mean, Nolan Gorman has made the Rockies pay twice in the last 2 days. But in today's game, you want to keep it at 27 outs. You want to keep it right there. Today, the Cardinals had 30.
Yeah, last night, same deal. There's 100 miles an hour, but it misses. 1-2 on Castro. Tovar's on deck. It's 101. Man, you got to get started early.
You just have to trust your eyes. I mean, you can't overswing. You have to be really relaxed when guys are throwing this hard.
Two gone, and Ezequiel Tovar will come up. So Nolan Gorman becomes the first Cardinal to hit a go-ahead home run in back-to-back games in the 8th inning or later since Albert Pujols, remember him, did it in 2011. Seemed like Albert homered every day the first decade of his career. So fitting that last year he finished up his first ballot Hall of Fame career in St. Louis.
Just look right.
It did look right. It's a good way of phrasing it. Two-0 to Tovar. To short. Donovan. And that'll end the ball game. And the Cardinals take 2 of 3 here in Denver against the Rockies. The final score 7-4. Palante gets credit for the victory. Lawrence suffers the loss. Helsley has his 3rd save. The Rockies finished the first homestand of the year at 3 up and 4 down as we go to center field and Jenny.